Have you ever felt like a ghost in your own life? Phantom moving through rooms? Your presence acknowledged but never truly felt? You were there. Your body occupies a chair, your hands hold a cup of coffee, your lips curve into a smile so practiced it could be an anatomical feature. But the real you, the sentient core of your being, is 1,000 miles away, looking on from a great distance. A silent observer to a life that is happening to you, not from you. You have become transparent. People look through you, their gaze fixed on what you can offer, what you can fix, what you can absorb. They see a function, a solution, a beautifully polished mirror for their own needs. Never the mirror's frame, never the person holding it up. And you have played this role with such unwavering commitment for so long that the line between the performance and the self has blurred into nothing. You begin to believe you are the role. We have a name for it in our quiet, exhausted moments. Overavailability. It presents itself as a virtue, a golden halo of selflessness, to be the one who is always there, to be the unshakable rock in the turbulent seas of others' lives. We were conditioned for this from our earliest days. It wasn't just the overt commands, be kind, be helpful, don't say no. It was the subtle system of rewards, a smile for your compliance, a word of praise for your sacrifice, the warm, fleeting glow of approval when you put your own needs aside. Your sense of worth became inextricably tangled up with your utility to others. You learned that love was conditional, and the condition was your perpetual accessibility. But no one ever told you about the fine print in that social contract. No one warned you that to be eternally available is the most insidious form of self-abandonment. It is a silent, unsigned treaty you enact with the world, a vow whispered in the dark, you can take. My energy, my time, my focus, my peace, it is all yours for the taking. In return, I ask only for this one thing, that you do not leave me, that you do not deem me worthless. And so you live in a state of constant low-grade alert, a perpetual readiness. Your phone buzzes, and you feel a jolt of biochemical urgency, a Pavlovian response you must reply. Now, someone mentions a problem, and your mind, a perfectly trained servant, begins engineering solutions before they have even finished their sentence. You react instantly, automatically. You are no longer a person. You are a response mechanism, a flawlessly calibrated instrument in the cacophonous orchestra of other people's needs. And what remains for you when the performance is over? When the last lights are out and you are alone in the silent theater of your own mind, peeling that mask of smiling readiness from your weary face? A profound and aching emptiness. A formless irritation that simmers just below the surface. A frustration with a world you cannot name, and a fatigue. A soul-deep fatigue that has nothing to do with sleep, and everything to do with giving away the very essence of your being, piece by piece. This is the hidden cost of being predictable. Because in a world of transaction, anything that is predictable becomes a resource, a utility, a tool. And a tool is not loved for what it is, but for what it does. It is used to build, to fix, to comfort. And when the job is done, it is put back on the shelf, forgotten until it is needed again. It is never cherished for its own sake. Carl Jung spoke of the persona, the curated, socially acceptable mask we wear for approval. It is this persona that has become your warden. It is the voice in your head that insists you say yes when every fiber of your being screams no. It is the frantic energy that compels you to respond immediately, because it is terrified of the void of silence. It fears that in the silence someone might discover you are not omnipotent, not endlessly capable, or worse, far worse, that you might finally discover it yourself. Now, I want you to reimagine your psychic energy. It is not a boundless, self-replenishing ocean. It is a single, finite glass of water in an infinite desert. Every forced conversation about a topic that drains you, every time you defend yourself against an unearned criticism, every minute spent trying to soothe another person's manufactured drama, it is a precious drop spilled onto the sand, lost forever. You do this day after day until the glass is empty. And that is the moment you become truly vulnerable. The world is full of those who are emotionally starving, not out of malice, but out of their own deep emptiness. They are masters of sensing a vacuum. They can sense your exhaustion, They can see the hairline cracks in your energetic force field. They don't need to use force or aggression. Their methods are far more subtle. They use your own virtues against you. They leverage your empathy, your compassion, your deep-seated desire to be a good person. They just need to press the right button. Your guilt, your fear of conflict, your need to be needed, and you will react again. Out of habit, out of conditioning, you will find a way to squeeze one last, desperate drop from your empty glass to offer them. Because those who demand your constant availability do not, in fact, want you. They want what you provide. They want the reflection you offer. They have projected their unmet needs, their disowned traits, their deepest insecurities onto you, and you have, without realizing it, agreed to become the unpaid, unacknowledged caretaker of their inner world. You are the blank canvas on which they paint their self-portraits, their desires, their fears, their unfulfilled potential. And the more available you are, the more accommodating, the more blank the canvas becomes. But imagine, just for a moment, imagine if you did the unthinkable. Imagine if you stopped. If you chose silence instead of the automatic reply, retreat instead of the reflexive explosion of help. If you simply withdrew your energy, what do you think would happen? This is the precise point where the entire game changes. The world around you, so accustomed to controlling you through your predictability, goes into a state of crisis. Those people who believed they knew you inside and out suddenly realize they know nothing at all. They knew the mask, the role, the function. They never met the person behind it. This is the beginning of the architecture of silence. It is not a void. It is a consciously constructed space. It is a fortress built not of stone, but of stillness. When you stop reacting, you are finally free to start observing. And in that pristine, lucid observation, you see the patterns for the very first time. You see the subtle cycles of manipulation, the emotional repetitions, the unspoken games you didn't even know you were playing, a game in which you were the primary pawn. And who gets the most desperate when you withdraw? Who becomes irritated? Who tries to provoke you, to poke and prod, just to elicit a spark of the old, reliable you? Their desperation is a confession. It reveals more about their own inner state than your silence ever could. It reveals how profoundly they depended on your imbalance to maintain their own. They will accuse you. The accusations will come, cloaked in the language of hurt. You've changed. You're being cold. You're selfish. What did I do to you? Listen to these words, but hear what is beneath them. They are not wrong. You have changed. You have stopped serving as a convenient, flattering mirror for their projections. You have taken the mirror away. And now, for the first time, they are forced to look at themselves, at their own reflection in the harsh light of reality. And not everyone is prepared for what they will see. Your silence doesn't just disrupt them. It exposes them to the deafening roar of their own inner noise. It introduces them to their own shadow, and they will resent you for it. But the real question is not about them. It is about you. Are you ready to endure this discomfort, the rupture, the profound, echoing loneliness that comes in the immediate aftermath? Because this is the non-negotiable price of freedom. Jung understood that the sacred process of individuation, of becoming who you truly are, whole and undivided, requires this period of sacred isolation. A time of inner retreat where you must learn to listen to your own voice, to distinguish it from the clamor of the world's expectations. At first, this new space will feel like loss. It will feel like an amputation. But then, gradually, the silence begins to transform. It cleanses, it calms, it heals. And the ache of loneliness gives way to the power of solitude. Remember this distinction, for it is everything. Loneliness is the pain of being alone. Solitude is the glory of being yourself. It is in this glorious solitude that you cease to be a reactor and begin to become a creator. You are no longer a flimsy ship tossed on the violent waves of others' emotions. You are the ocean itself, calm, deep, and powerful. This is conscious unavailability. It is not a cold, impenetrable wall. It is a selective gate, and you have finally become the gatekeeper of your own soul. It is not about being indifferent. It is about being fiercely selective. It is about taking sovereign control of your energy, your time, your focus, and your peace. And it begins with small, almost imperceptible acts of rebellion. Not responding to a message immediately, letting the silence sit in a conversation without rushing to fill it. Breathing, just breathing, before you react. Saying the powerful words, "Let me think about that," instead of an instant yes. Turning off your phone without guilt. Saying no without a 20-page dissertation justifying your decision. You owe no one an explanation for your silence. Your silence is the explanation. It is a boundary, and a boundary is a complete statement in itself. Those who are only with you for your function, for the role you played, will begin to drift away. Let them go. You are not losing them. You are liberating yourself from the weight of their expectations. You will be misunderstood perhaps more than ever before. But you will also finally begin to be respected, because when you are no longer available for just anything, you become truly valuable for something. Your presence, once cheap and taken for granted, now has weight. It is intentional. It is earned. It is real. This is nothing less than your rebirth. It is the start of a life where you are no longer available for emotional crumbs, for manipulative mind games, for empty voids disguised as affection. From this point forward, you only accept what resonates with your deepest peace, your most authentic truth, your hard-won wholeness. True self-love is not a feeling. It is a choice. It is the choice you make in the moment you decide to honor yourself, even if it costs you the approval of others, even if it means being alone for a while. So I ask you now, not as a narrator, but as a voice from that quiet space inside you. Are you ready? Are you ready to be misunderstood, rejected, or even disliked in the sacred name of your own inner freedom? Are you willing to pay the price of truly being you? The architecture of silence is waiting. It is not an ending. It is the foundation for everything that is to come. It is the sacred ground where you finally get to build yourself, piece by authentic piece. What will you choose to build?